Jim, Mark, and Kelly with the Hugh Time class. Today's essential question comes from Standard 6-2.2. How have the efforts of Alexander the Great and the Hellenistic world he helped create continued to influence our world today? Our sources include a lecture by Dr. Alan Grubb and the book Wicked History, Alexander the Great. Looking at the map, Greece is located in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Alexander's empire stretched from Greece down into Egypt, across Babylon and the Middle East, finally coming to a stop around the Indus River Valley in India. Let's now take a look at the timeline. Alexander is born in 356 BC in Macedonia. He came to power after his father, King Philip, was assassinated in 336 BC. Just 1 year later, 335 BC, Alexander begins his reign of terror by defeating the Thebes. Alexander the Great dies very young, just 4 months shy of his 33rd birthday, in 323 BC. During the same time period, Rome is slowly coming into their own powerful republic.
Alexander's legend included that he was a demigod, half man, half god. We don't believe in demigods as being real, but we do use the stories today in literature and film. Higher learning. Alexander was taught by the Greek philosopher Aristotle. We still value the student-teacher relationship, and we still believe that education matters. Achilles. Alexander's hero was Achilles, the Greek hero of the Iliad, who died from an arrow to his heel. We continue to use the Iliad in stories and film, and have even given the name Achilles to a tendon in our heel. Top recruits. Alexander used skilled soldiers in his military. We maintain a standing military, paying extra incentives to keep well-trained soldiers and sailors in the military as long as possible. Invasion. Alexander invaded his kingdom's enemy to rid them from the possible invasions from the Persians. We continue to war against enemy nations to diminish their influence on the world today. Gears of war. Key element of Alexander's military was technology of weapons such as the catapult and siege towers. We have a vast military complex here in America that strives to promote or provide the latest in military technology such as stealth and drones.
All right, in 333 BC, Alexander conquered the Great Gordian Knot, which was a knot that if you untied, you would conquer all of Asia. These kind of superstitions still exist, like the Clemson football team rubbing the rock before they run down the hill. Alexander also asked his men to marry the local women of the Persians and Greeks to sort of establish some diplomacy like many of the European monarchs did later on in history. All right, Alexander, after he conquered the city of Persepolis, which was the Persian capital, he burns it to the ground. This destroyed the city, economically and psychologically, much like the U.S. did to Japan at the end of World War II. All right, once King Darius passes away, it symbolizes the end of the Persian Empire, much like when Romulus II steps down of the throne of the Roman Empire, symbolizes the end of that great empire. All right, and after Alexander conquered Persepolis, he adopted the customs of the Persians, much like today, where if you go to major cities, especially in the Southwest, you see lots of street signs in English and Spanish. So was Alexander the Great indeed wicked? Well, it doesn't really matter because his enduring legacy is his cultural diffusion of the Hellenistic era, including architecture, engineering, government, the arts, math, and science, and oh, by the way, enjoy the Olympics at the end of the summer.